The death of Akshay Shinde, the man accused of sexual assault of two minors while in police custody, has triggered a controversy in Maharashtra. Yes, Akshay, who had been working as a sweeper at a Badlapur school, was sexually assaulting two kindergartners. That's what he was accused of. His death reportedly occurred at 6:30 p.m. near the Mumbai bypass while he was being transferred from the Taloja jail to Badlapur for an investigation in a fresh FIR lodged by his wife. According to the police, the incident was triggered by the accused, who reportedly snatched the gun from one of the policemen and opened fire at them. He fired 3 bullets at the policeman, of which one hit the leg of an assistant inspector, Nalin Narvekar. Meanwhile, Inspector Sanjay Shinde eventually shot Akshay Shinde in retaliation. Shinde was rushed to the Kalwa Civic Hospital, where he was declared dead. The Maharashtra government claims police acted in self-defense, but Shinde's family alleges foul play, calling it an encounter and demanding justice. Well, this is not the first time such an incident is being reported. Just a month ago, the main accused in the 2024 Ding gang rape incident, Tafazul Islam, reportedly died after jumping into the pond while frantically escaping police custody. Joining us live at this point is Nirmal Kaur, former IPS officer. Also with us is Dhanraj Vanjari, former police officer. Ashwini Dubey, Supreme Court AOR, also joins us live. Let me begin with you first, Nirmal Kaur. Let me ask you, Nirmal Kaur, on this incident. It's triggered a huge political row. Of course, Maharashtra elections are around the corner, so that was to be expected. But what do you make prima facie of what happened yesterday? The police is being blamed by opposition politicians.
I think this is not this is not the first time politicians have behaved like this. They are always the merit of the case is always not really relevant to them at all. That is not the subject matter at all. Those who are in the position, commanding position, those who are in the ruling party will support anything, and those in the opposite party will attack anything. That's regardless of the fact that they may have supported it when they were in power themselves, the same things, or the same bill, or the same act, or the same. This is the way it is being done out here, because merits are, merit of the case or values, it's not a value-driven politics at all. It's simply like a very personal attack kind of a politics that is being played out in our country right now. And that is why it happened. As to the incident, the public or the parents are alleging encounter, that the death was due to an encounter, and the police is saying that he snatched the revolver, according to media reports, and shot the assistant sub-inspector in the leg. As a result, they had to fire in self-defense, and he died. But an inquiry will reveal the truth. What is the truth? Both sides are saying they own this thing. And whenever there's a custodial death, an inquiry is bound to be there. So in this case also, perhaps CID or whoever, as per rules, they will institute an inquiry. And for the findings of the inquiry will decide what is, truth will come out that way. Right now, there are two versions of the story.
The fact is now the family also is crying foul. The family is saying first he was being forced for a confession. Then now they are saying they are doubting that he opened fire first.
The family will, that is only to be expected. After all, no mother would think that they are, that is what the family is for supporting you loyally, regardless, give you unrestricted support. So family, it is expected. But the truth can only be found out by the inquiry, which is bound to be there since it is a custodial death.
Right, let me get in Dhanraj Vanjari as well. Dhanraj Vanjari, let me get you in with your perspective on what really transpired. According to you, what do you make of the way the accused yesterday was shot after the police claimed he tried to open fire at them? There's a policeman also who was injured. He died, of course, in hospital later. A big political row now is erupted.
Apart from what it has been said on political front, I would like to address the issue through police perspective and the way it has been called encounter all over. It is not correct. According to me, it only can be an act done in self-defense by the police, and whatever has happened, the result is there in front of the society. Now, basic few questions comes over here. Though I served Mumbai police for more than 35 years, I have some basic questions here that right from beginning, in this case, right from beginning, to get the complaint recorded, to make the FIR, there are allegations against police. Even being a lady police officer in charge of the police station was not seen that sensitive to go and register the FIR. So there was a big hue and cry. And that's why this case particularly came on the national scenario in news. And it becomes a sort of a very bad case of women exploitation and all that. Investigation was completed per se the accused Akshay Shinde. Up to that extent, it's okay. But what about two other wanted accused in this case? And without arresting them, the police have filed the charge sheet. Well, we can say it is for fast track or police have pious intention to file it. But those two wanted accused are not yet been arrested. They are running from Sessions Court. Their bail rejected. Their anticipatory bail is also rejected by Mumbai High Court. But still they are not being put under arrest. Police would have made more effort to get them arrested first and then submit the charge. Final question comes over here. What was the necessity to get the person in custody on previous complaint of his ex-wife of some sexual molestation or sexual assault? If that is the truth, then why this particular FIR of sexual harassment from ex-wife came in this material time? That is also to be taken into consideration. And for ascertaining the scene of offense, when you take the accused, I think of my experience and forensic expert would also agree with it, that for ascertain of any scene of crime in such offenses, the victims pointing out the scene of crime is enough. What the accused will point out and what else would be there, it is a lame sort of evidence. I don't say it may not be evidence, but it will be lame sort of evidence. Now, one policeman who is of assistant police inspector rank is injured. He got injury to his leg. But basic question before that comes that how a holstered revolver from the uniform or from the body of a police officer so easily goes in the hand of a accused who is already handcuffed. Where is the manual? Where are the rules? What precautions my police brothers have taken? So there are matters to be considered in a deepest judicial inquiry. SIT has been already announced by Honorable Home Minister Maharashtra. But I asked the Home Minister, how many such SITs you have so far declared and where are the results? So SIT has become a sort of big size dustbin. You just put some matter into it and it's over. Now, SIT is not the solution. There must be a judicial probe into it. What training the police officer had, what antecedents and what credentials the police officer were when they went to fetch the accused from prison. And all this comes under the question. Only answer is possible and only authentic talk is possible if the inquiry report sincerely and without any bias will come forward to people, and then that time there would be justice. Otherwise, if some people says that okay, oh, to आरोपी इतना बदमाश था, इतना गंदा घिनौना काम किया, well, he has done heinous crime, he doesn't deserve any sympathy. I agree, but what about the constitutional institution? Are you going to stop the constitutional institutions working in this country? Which is this encounter mechanism? Is this a constitutional institution? Answer is no. Right from Supreme Court said no, it is not the usual course. If it is an immense threat to the life of police officer or any public, then it's possible. But I think who will justify all that? Only judicial probe is the solution in this case, and I want judicial probe should be instituted and let the truth come before the nation.
Yes. Okay, let me take that to Ashwini Dubey as well. Ashwini Dubey, what do you make, of course, of the political rhetoric that has also erupted after this incident, and also prima facie, what do you make of what transpired yesterday while the accused was in custody and being taken to Badlapur from Taloja jail?
Thank you, Uday, for having me here. Uday, I would start where Mr. Dhanraj Vanjari has left. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. This is Martin Luther King Jr. has said. Any society needs peace of mind and conducive circumstances to progress, and the police is duty bound to maintain law and order. This is one. Second, there are guidelines outlined by Supreme Court in the cases of extrajudicial killings, as rightly said Mr. Dhanraj Banjare, that FIR is required. FIR needs to be registered, and there is a law also. Investigation is to be done by a CID, which has to fulfill eight minimum criteria: mandatory magisterial inquiry, medical aid, state commission, and HRC. Uday, if you remember, 4 years back in Hyderabad, when the veterinary doctor was subjected to cruelty and murder, 4 people were killed by the pressure of the police. Justice V.S. Surpurkar committee was appointed, you remember? Then Justice V.S. Surpurkar committee, after thorough inquiry, found that those people have not involved in the murder and rape of that medical veterinary doctor. Ultimately, what happened? Those 4 people died. In a country where justice prevails, rule of law is there, circumstances have been given, even in the case of the extrajudicial killing, then in that case, question would arise. When both the hands of Akshay Shinde were tied, how could he fire the bullet? And if it is so, then where is the question of extrajudicial killing? We may understand that if he had been hardened criminal, he would have been attacked from outside. If he would have been having in possession of, when he was in police custody, how somebody killed it. So question would rise. Now, number 2, there is a doctrine outlined in India which talks about the extrajudicial killing, which is though it is a highly controversial topic. Every day we see that extrajudicial killing has come, and then we debate, and the commission inquiry takes place, and the commission report finds that yes, he has done it. But ultimately, if people will start taking law and order in their hand, what would be how the judicial authorities, the judicial institutions established under the constitution of law, constitution of the country, would perform their duties? Number 2, if police will start killing people under the hue and cry of the public at large, knowingly that this person has committed an offense, but he has not been declared as a guilty in the eyes of law, then will start killing in order to give the message to this society and public that you don't commit this kind of offense, rightly or wrongly. But where is the evidence? Number 3, as you rightly said, that we live in a democratic country where political parties start criticizing the ruling dispensation. It has been vice versa. When the ruling dispensation will ask to perform duties, police is always asked that he's biased and working at the behest of the masters, political masters. That question would arise. But logical question, the moot question, Uday, would be, is police empowered, even under the law, to kill a person who is in the custody? An execution without the court of law, and in a rarest of the rare case, Uday, in our criminal jurisprudence, in the rarest of the rare cases, phasi or the execution has been given, not in the normal circumstances. You see, we know the Shraddha Walker's killer killed Shraddha Walker. We have seen the Bangalore case, but still, law has to take its own course. If it is not, if kangaroo courts will start taking its action, we would not be in a country. तो फिर सीरिया में, इराक में, बाकी जगह पर जहां पत्थर मारते हैं, बाकी जगह पर जहां कोड़ों से मारते हैं, then what would be the difference in a country where the constitution is supreme, law is supreme, constitutional authorities are supreme? This is the question, and here I am leaving. Over to you then.
Yes, let me in fact quickly though ask you then, Ashwini Dubey, how will we resolve the issue? I believe the CID perhaps might take over the probe. How will the issue be resolved? Because it can, become bigger and bigger. As I said at the start of the show, Maharashtra elections are around the corner.
Uday, let us see the FIR and logical conclusion of that FIR. The investigation in a time-bound manner, though the guidelines of Supreme Court says CID has to look into it, NHRC has to submit a report, magisterial inquiry has to be done. These are the parameters, but that needs to be done. Extra means an independent agency which should not be biased by the political masters of this state. And it's not a political issue. I don't call it a political issue. Killing somebody is not a political. It is not going to gain any either ruling dimension or the opposition. But yes, CID inquiry, if it is there, then that has to be impartial, unbiased, transparent, and time-bound manner inquiry. And then only we can say the justice is prevailed, justice will be prevailed. Over to you.
Okay, let me also quickly go across to Dhanraj Vanjari once again. Dhanraj Vanjari, let me quickly ask you on also now the family's allegations, because of course the politics will continue, but the family claims that first there was a forced confession taken, then they claim that they don't believe the theory that he fired first. What do you make of what the family has said on this matter?
Family is in deep pain, and they're ordinary, common, illiterate people. What they are saying, they are just crying for justice. But as very rightly been said by Mr. Dubey, where the justice has itself been murdered in the country, then where is the justice? What these people are asking, that he has written something and they have given us being a parent, and then we wanted to come back to him and give him a reply and all that. These are all things are there, hue and cry. Are you going to leave the people like that? What will be the injury, or what will be the damage to the man's psychology who has sustained that my son was killed in this particular fashion? If he starts killing tomorrow like that, are we going to create a chaotic situation in this state? This is not a first incident. My final submission, I would say, in Maharashtra, since the very home ministry friendly minister is holding it, when he was chief minister, he was holding home ministry for all 5 years, and now also he is home minister. In that time, Porsche accident case, Pune whole world has witnessed. This Agarwal accident, whole world has witnessed. The forensic people are committing mistakes. The doctors are changing samples. The judicial officers are not acting in a particular frame given in the judicial juvenile act. What is this going on? Are you interested in restoring constitutional mechanism in this country, or extra constitutionally you would like to do something over here, maybe for lame political gain or whatever it is, but just foresee this is a great country, and the coming society and coming young generation, what way you are trying to give them a lesson in their psychology? Are you not creating a factory of criminals? What kind of system, what kind of justice, what kind of mythology you keep and say? All this comes away to your action, and that shows your sanskara and your sanskriti is totally getting polluted at some level. And we need to think, the intellectual, academician, the retired police officer, all need to think in this country that what is going on all over. Is this correct or not? If it is not correct, then it should be corrected. Beyond the boat goes after a certain point in a flood.
Okay, let me quickly go across to you, Nirmal Kaur. Nirmal Kaur, what is needed next to provide closure to the family, of course, but also to silence the political rhetoric on this particular matter? Is a CID probe enough? Is more needed? Nirmal Kaur, what should be done next? Okay, I think we've lost Nirmal ji there, but Dhanraj Vanjari, why don't you take that? What is needed next in this case, sir?
Judicial probe or any kind of probe will not be enough unless there is a concrete action against the erring factors, maybe from medical, maybe from police, maybe from any fraternity. Whosoever has committed mistake and whosoever has committed crime should not be forgotten or forgiven. They should take to the news, as it has been rightly said in Hyderabad's matter. The Justice Sirpurkar report says that these 4 people were not involved in that heinous crime. You just label somebody involved in heinous, let it prove in court of law. And then only you can revamp the system. This is a democracy's deterioration you are starting. Degrading the democracy. And this will cost a very high value for tomorrow's society. tomorrow what kind of youth should be there? Today, I was told that after this encounter and killing of Shinde, some people distributed sweet. They had crackers. What for? For what you are celebrating? Constitution being killed, institutions being finished. Somebody said this is the justice given by God. What kind of justice given by God? Are you going to aggressive nationalism? From progressive democracy, you are walking to regressive nationalism, and I think this is a point for all of us to feel worry of.
Yes, absolutely. Ashwini Dubey, as far as, of course, now this particular incident is concerned, though, some people are saying that there is a pattern to it, because just 1 month back, there was another incident which took place in the Dean gang rape incident, in which Tafazul Islam reportedly died after trying to escape police custody by jumping into a pond.
Uday, every encounter has its own case, its own merits, its own facts, its own circumstances. So equating one to the other, I think, would not be appropriate, being a student of law, what I understand. But growing outrage and uncertainty in the country over the rising incidents of encounter is, of course, a question which needs to be looked into, which needs to be investigated upon, and where certain guidelines which are to be adhered in a true letter and spirit have to be formulated and acted upon. That is how we can say the Article 21 of the Constitution, which talks in true letter and spirit that it protects the life and liberty of an individual. That it says that no person shall be deprived of his life, personal liberty, except according to the procedure established by law. And here, I'm sorry, Uday, I must say, there is no due procedure of law. Due procedure of law would have been the prosecuting agency under the provisions of BNS, which has been made in order to provide justice and in order to give punishment to those criminals, would have been acted, implemented, and the court of law would have been given punishment in a time-bound manner, and prosecution would have been able to establish. This is the rarest of the rare case, and he should have been punished in a time-bound manner, no execution, by court of law, and message would have been conveyed to the society and would have said, yes, the rule of law is there. So what I don't consider all the cases to be tied up in a same line, no heroic, but yes, need is there, and that is all there. Remember the encounter of gangster Vikas Dubey and his associates was welcomed by the political leaders, the public figures and masses, and still the question remains. Still the same question is there, that whether the extrajudicial killing is to be celebrated or due procedure of law established by the constitutional authorities and our parliamentarians, and then the punishment given under the law should be celebrated.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.